What's up, YouTube? Team Movies here, and happy Halloween. Now, let's be real. 2022 was a bad for horror films, which I will be doing my reviews for my. We'll be doing my top 10 favorite horror movies pretty soon. Just there's some others, horror films that could be coming out this year that might slip in my top 10 too. So I'm gonna wait a little bit before I do my top 10 favorite horrors of the year, and I'm also gonna wait a little bit before I do my actual top 10 anticipated. But I'm gonna be talking about the horror movies that are scheduled to be released next year, whether they have release dates, whether they're rumored for next year or anything. Because they're like 2023 looks like it's going to be a banger year for the horror genre, whether it's for streaming, whether it's for theaters. Who, who cares? There's lots of cool horrors to look forward to in the month of October. So, starting off with the big one that is set to be released in the month of October. The first horror film that is coming out is Megan. Now, it's about a robotic engineer at a toy company builds a lifelike dog that begins to take on a life of his own. And the trailer for this thing looks creepy. I mean, you have that dog Megan just sort of dancing, creepy. I mean, this looks insane. You got Allison Williams from Get Out famous in this, produced by James Wan, who of course gave us Annabelle, the Conjuring movies. I'm excited for this thing. It looks super cool, looks creepy. I'm definitely down to check this one out. I mean, you guys also got to see the feud that Chucky and Megan have been doing online on Twitter. One of the funniest feuds you'll see this year. But that aside, I cannot wait for Megan when it hits theaters. All right. Also coming out in January, we got True Haunting. Here's what this is about. It's directed for one. It's directed by a runaway jury director, Glenn Fladler, and stars Aaron Moriarty, of course, from The Boys fame, and Jamie Campbell Bower, who, of course, recently played Vala in the recent Stranger Things series. Here's what it's about. The terrifying story of the first televised exorcism on NBC in 1971. The NBC News segment was a success. The exorcism was not. Instead, it made things worse for the Becker family, who lived there, much worse. Now, of course, I just saw Pray for the Devil, which was pretty terrible. I don't know if this is going to be any good or not. But hey, it does sound really like it could be really fascinating. I like Aaron Morrissey from The Boys. Jamie Campbell Bower, he's a really cool actor. So I'll give this one a benefit of the doubt. It could be interesting, or it could be, another Pray for the Devil. Maybe it could be worse than Pray for the Devil. Who knows? But this definitely looks like sounds like it could be really intriguing here. Okay, I'll fix that. All right. Okay. Now, also coming out in January, we got Alone at Night, which is pretty much about this girl played by Ashley Benson, who wants to make some quick bucks, so she decides to do like an online cam business, if you know what I mean. Uh, and she's pretty much alone, and there's a killer around there. It also features folks like Pamela Anderson. You got Paris Hilton's in this, Luis Guzman. It sounds really intriguing. It actually takes place during the pandemic, so quarantine, obviously. That's why she's alone. But yeah, this sounds like it'd be really intriguing to check out. All right, we also got a horror film called Fear coming out, which is directed by Dion Taylor, who directed the Meet the Blacks movies. Here's what it's about. A much needed getaway and a celebration weekend turns into a nightmare due to a contagious airborne threat. Now I'm now this also stars King that Vine star King Bach is in this. Uh this sounds like we really intriguing. Deion Taylor has also directed some other really cool horror films too. Let me pull some of this over. He of course did, like I said, he did the Meet the Blacks movies. He did that film with Hilary Swank in it called Fatality, I think it was called. That was pretty terrible. So he also did Chain Letter, which was a really cool horror film with Nikki Reed and Brad Dorff, which I enjoyed. So maybe this could be interesting too. Who knows? All right, now it won't be a year without M Night Shyamalan because next year we got Knock at the Cabin, While vacationing, a girl and her parents are taken hostage by armed strangers who demand that the family must have a choice to avert the apocalypse. You also got the likes of Rupert Grint, Dave Batista, Jonathan Groff is in this. I'm excited for this thing. I mean, the trailer looks really cool. It is actually based on a book, so there's that too. Really tricky to check out. So hopefully it'll be something cool. All right, I still don't know if this is really much of a horror film, but it sounds awesome in general, and that is Cocaine Bear. Now, directed by Elizabeth Banks, and it's sadly one of the last movies that Ray Liotta stars in. It tells the story of a drug runner whose plane crashes with a load of cocaine that, I kid you not, that's found by a black bear who eats it and goes on a rampage, a killing rampage. So yeah, I gotta see this thing. I mean, just the name of it sounds awesome. Cocaine Bear. Okay, that piques my interest. You got Ray Liotta's in this. You got Jesse Tyler Ferguson, Carrie Russell, Margot Martindale. One more key action for here, directed by Elizabeth Banks. I mean, I'm really interested to check this one out when it premieres. Then coming in March, we got the big one, and that is Scream 6. Now, yes, there was actually rumors about this trailer was supposed to hit today, but yeah, we're not gonna see a trailer for quite a while. But hey, I'm excited for this. You got Hayden Panettiere coming back as Kirby. You got Courtney Cox returning. No Nave Campbell, but hey, maybe it'll still work. Who knows? But I'm still excited for this new Scream film overall. I mean, I love the recent Scream movie we just gotten. So yeah, I'm definitely excited to check out this latest one. You got some new additions coming in, so hopefully it'll be as good as the recent one because I really love the Scream franchise. So just seeing that we're getting another one, literally a year after we just had a fifth one, interested me a lot. All right, we also got another Exorcist film coming called The Pope's Exorcist, which uh, here's what on The Pope's Exorcist is about. It stars Russell Crowe, and this is actually based on a true story as well. Lots of exorcism movies are based on true stories these days. But anyway, here's the crazy synopsis. Father Gabriel Amorth, chief exorcist of the Vatican, battles Satan and innocent possessing demons. A detailed portrait of a priest who performed more than 100,000 exorcisms in his lifetime. Now, this is actually directed by Jules Effrey, who recently gave us that Sylvester Stallone movie Samara, which was pretty good. I'm intrigued by this. It sounds like it could be really interesting here. So hopefully this will be. Hold on, just gotta go. I can't do that. Anyway, as I'm saying, yeah, the Pope's Exorcist. I'm a little intrigued, but like I said, Pray for the Devil has not been haven't had any great exorcism movies for a while. So hopefully this will be something good. All right, next year is the year for Dracula because next year we got Renfield, which is a horror comedy starring Nicolas Cage as Dracula. And now, of course, here you've got Dracula's henchman and inmate at lunatic asylum. Now, of course, if you guys don't know, Renfield was actually Dracula's right hand man, and he's actually portrayed by Nicholas Hoult in this. And you got Nicolas Cage playing Dracula. I mean, one more key ask for here. It it sounds cool from the same director of the Lego Batman movie. So hold on, I need a bottle of water here. So yeah, I'm definitely excited to see this when it premieres. Sorry for that. All right, maybe I should talk about this in a video because the photo just dropped. But also coming out in April, we got Evil Dead Rise coming out. Now, if you guys don't know, Evil Dead Rise was originally supposed to be an HBO Max exclusive, but because the film did so well with like test screens and all, they were like, okay, this is so good, we got to put it in theirs. And so David Zaslav, of course, the person who canceled that Batgirl film, was like, okay, we got rid of Batgirl, we'll at least have Evil Dead Rise play. So this is awesome to see. Now, if you guys don't know much about the new Evil Dead Rise, it's a twisted tale of two estranged sisters whose reunion is cut short by the rise of flesh possessing demons, nursing them into a primal battle for survival as they face the most nightmarish version of family imaginable. Now, I love the Evil Dead movies. Even the 2013 remake, I really enjoyed. Ash vs. Evil Dead was awesome. So I'm definitely looking forward to checking out this new Evil Dead film. The photo that dropped looked cool. So no Bruce Campbell, but hey, maybe the movie will still be decent. It's supposed to take place in a high rise place, so should be interesting. All right, we also got Insidious 5 coming out, where the Lamberts, 10 years after the last installment as Delta begins college. We, of course, got Rose Byrne, Patrick Wilson returning, Ty Simpkins, who is also returning as the son that was possessed by the spirit. So it doesn't really say if Lynn Shay's coming back, but that would be disappointing because even even the last Insidious movie, which was pretty terrible, Lynn Shay was awesome in that. I mean, Lynn Shay is just awesome in anything. Okay, so yeah, I'm definitely excited to check out this new Insidious. Even though the last one was not so good, hopefully this movie will be even better. But we shall see. All right, now I guess it's not really much of horror, but we do got Meg 2 coming out, which I was not really. I like the first film, but never really consider it as a horror, so maybe I'm probably not going to talk about that one. There's also the Haunted Mansion, which again, not really much of a horror, more of a horror family comedy, starring Owen Wilson, Tiffany Haddish. We also got Danny DeVito, Winona Ryder, Jamie Lee Curtis. So yeah, of course, the Haunted Mansion is one of the. I've never been on it, but from what I heard, it is one of the creepiest things at Disneyland. So, and of course, they did do a film with Eddie Murphy, which wasn't really much horror, but still. All right, speaking of Dracula, we also got Last Voyage of the Death Mare. Now, let me pull up what the film. All right, if you guys don't know much about the story of this, it's another film that actually stars on Dracula, where the last voyage of the Detmer, strange events before the crew of a merchant ship known as the Detmer, as they are stalked by a dark presence while also carrying Dracula's coffin. Now, Dracula here is supposed to be played by Javier Botet, I think his name is. You got David Dashmachlin, who I liked in the Suicide Squad. You got Corey Hawkins, who's leading this. Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to see where they can take this at, how dark this is going to be, how creepy it is. A more Dracula story is always a given. All right, we also got the Nun 2 coming out, which I'm not too excited for because Nun was maybe my least favorite out of the Conjuring films. But hey, you do got Thais Farmiga returning, so there's that. So I don't know. Maybe this will be decent. I still wish Warner Bros. Do the Crooked Man instead, but I don't know. Maybe the Nun 2 will be decent, and I think the following year we'll probably have Conjuring 4, which that was just announced. So we're going to be getting more Conjurings in the near future. So cool, I guess. All right. Speaking of Exorcist, coming next year, we of course got the King of Exorcisms returning, and that is The Exorcist. Now, The Exorcist is directed by David Gordon Green, who of course directed the recent Halloween reboot. Of course, he just had Halloween as that just got released. If now Halloween. Now, The Exorcist will return Ellen Burstyn coming back in with End Out and Lily Owen Jr. It's actually a follow up to the 1973 film about a 12-year-old girl who is possessed by a mysterious demonic entity, forcing her mother to seek the help of two priests to save her. So yeah, pretty much we got Ellen Burstyn coming back to play to play the mother. Still no word on if like Linda Blair is returning or anything like that. That would be cool to see. Speak of, you guys got to check out Linda Blair's fun on Instagram. Sorry about that. Instagram Mint Mobile ad, which I think is hilarious. So yeah, but this I'm hoping it's good because, like I said, exorcism movies has not been great lately. I'm hoping good stuff about this, but hey, we'll have to wait and see how this thing shapes up. David Gordon Green, I really didn't mind his Halloween film, so hopefully this new one, this new Exorcist, will be as good. We'll see, but time will tell. All right. Also in October next year, by the way, we got Saw 10 coming out with Tobin Bell returning. What type of crazy sorry about that? What type of crazy traps they're gonna do here? Is completely beyond me. I mean, Saw franchise I really enjoy. Even the Chris Rock one I didn't mind so much. So I'm definitely looking forward to check out this new latest Saw entry. What type of traps and what type of torch is going to happen? This is beyond me. But we do got Tobin Bell's coming back. Same guy who directed Saw 3D and the other Saw movies are returning. So lots to look forward to with this upcoming Saw film. All right, now we got some other horror films that are still set for release but don't really have actual dates here. One of which is, of course, Maxine. Now, one of my favorite horror films of the year is obviously X. Then we, of course, just had Pearl. Maxine is pretty much the follow up to X, and I guess Pearl, but Pearl was more like a prequel of sorts. But yeah, I mean, you got Mia Goth coming back as Maxine. The trailer, like little trailer that was shown during Pearl, looked really cool. I mean, I'm definitely excited for this Maxine film. Mia Goth could just do no wrong, so definitely looking forward to check out Maxine when that premieres. All right, we also got a horror film called Cuckoo, which still nowhere on what this movie's about, but it does feature Dan Stevens, Jessica Henwick, and it stars Hunter Schafer. Of course, Jules from Euphoria fame. So I don't know what this is about, but hey, Hunter Schafer, I like her on Euphoria, so seeing her lead a horror film like this, sign me up there. All right, we also got a horror film called The Deliverance, which is a new Netflix horror film directed by Precious director Lee Daniels. Now, this does star the likes of Glenn Close, Omar Epps, Caleb McLaughlin from Stranger Things fame. It's about a family living in a home in Indiana discovers strange demonic insurances that convince them and the community that the house is a portal to hell. Now, this sounds really cool. I mean, Lee Downs doing a horror film, sign me up right there. I love the cast involved. So, yeah, this could be something really cool to check out. All right. And we also got The Boogeyman coming to Hulu next year, which is actually based on a book by Stephen King. Now, let me pull up what the film is about here. Now, it is actually written by Quiet Place writers Scott Becker Briar Woods, directed by host director Rob Savage. And it's where, like, still reeling from the tragic death of their mother, a teen girl and her little sister find themselves plunged by a sadistic presence in their house and struggle to get their grieving father to pay attention before it's too late. Now, this stars Madison Ho. You also have Vivian Lara Blair, who of course played young Leia in Obi Wan. You also have Chris Messina, also David Dashmachlin. So yeah, this sounds like it'd be really intriguing. I mean, Hulu crushed it with Hellraiser and Prey, not so much with Grim Cuddy, but they've done some hits and misses here. So this could be intriguing to check out. Uh, we also got Apartment 7A, which is a film for Paramount. Now, still no word on what this movie is supposed to be about, but there has been rumors surrounding it that this could be either a follow up or a prequel to Rosemary's Baby. Which, okay, sign me up there. Rosemary's Baby, despite Roman Polanski being a sicko, Rosemary's Baby is a classic. So seeing them like make a follow to that, I think should. Yeah. I think should be probably interesting. There, you do got Julie Garner, who's probably hot right now thanks to Inventing Anna and Ozark. So hurling this could be a train. So we'll see how good this thing is, and if it is actually a Rosemary's Baby film. All right, now the always great Chris Stuckman has a new horror film coming next year called Shelby Oaks, where a woman's desperate search for her long lost sister falls into obsession upon realizing that the imaginary demon from their childhood may have been real. Now, Chris Stuckman, this is the dude I always respect. Even if he reviews a film that I actually enjoy and he gives them a bad review, I still really appreciate his honesty. My favorite review was probably the one he did for the Emoji Movie. If you guys never seen that one, funniest review on YouTube. But seeing him like crowdfund this and make a directorial debut by it sounds like it could be really intriguing. So could be interesting to check out. All right. We also, speak of Stephen King, we got a film adaptation of Salem's Lot, where a writer travels to a town where the people become vampires. This does star Lewis Pullman. So this is literally a movie that's been in the pipeline for a while. I remember it was supposed to come out this year, but got delayed. It was supposed to come out in April, but got delayed. I mean, I haven't been hearing great early buzz about this. Don't be surprised if it either gets axed or gets dumped on HBO Max. I won't be surprised, but we'll see how if this thing is any good or not. But yeah, we shall see. All right, we also got Dark Harvest, which is also based on a book, directed by Twilight Saga Eclipse director David Slade. He also did 30 Days of Nights and Hard Candy for people saying, wait, he did Twilight Saga Eclipse? What? I ain't seen that. But anyway, here's what Dark Harvest is about. A legendary monster called October Boy terrorizes residents in a small Midwestern town where he rises from the cornfield every Halloween with his butcher a knife and makes his way towards those who brave enough to confront him. This, I gotta say, sounds cool. Now, like Salem's Lot, this was originally supposed to come out literally last month, but what happened to it is beyond me. I'm thinking this might actually go straight to streaming. I'm sorry to think that, but shall say. All right, we got a new horror film called All Fun and Games, which features Stranger Things actress Natalie Dyer as well as Asa Butterfield, where strange where there's a strange element of cruelty that's embedded in kids' games. Flashlight tag, Hangman, Simon Says, and sometimes it's taken too far. All Fun and Games follows a group of siblings who find themselves in a game with a demonic twist. I just hope this movie is better than the last movie, than that last horror film that Asa Butterfield starred in. Oh dang, I forgot the name of it. All right, it was so bad. It was that Netflix horror film he did. Dang, I forgot the name of it. The video game. If you die in the game, you die in real place. Something I can't remember the name, but it was so bad. But I like Asa Butterfield. I mean, I've been a fan of this kid ever since he was in the movie Hugo years ago. So I'm glad with stuff like sex education and other stuff he's done here and there. I'm glad to see him getting the recognition he deserves because this dude's a really good actor. So this could be interesting to see. And Natalie Dyer, I like her on Strange Things, so I see her getting on the break she deserves. All right, now we also got a couple of time travel horror films coming out on next year. We got one coming to Amazon called Totally Killer, which is from the same director of Always Be My Maybe. And the plot for this is one of the best plots I've heard from a horror film. Here is this. After her mother is murdered on Halloween, a rebellious teenager travels back to time in 1987 where she must stop the young would-be killer and get back to her rightful timeline before she's trapped in the past forever. Now, the cast in this includes the likes of Kernan Shipka from Sabrina fame, Julie Bone from Modern Family fame. You got Randall Park, who was also in Always Be My Maybe. I mean, the cast in this sounds intriguing. A time travel horror film like this, sign me up right there. Or I just need just that synopsis alone. That makes me excited for this thing. It is supposed to be a Prime Video film from Blumhouse, so there's that. But this sounds like we really intriguing. And another time travel horror film titled Time Cut, which is said to be a Netflix original. Now, I still don't know what this movie is supposed to be about, but all I know is the premise is pretty much being this movie's being called Scream meets Back to the Future. I don't know what type of premise that is. Like, is someone going to travel back to time to stop a serial killer? I don't know. But all you gotta tell me is Scream meets Back to the Future, and I'm just there. I mean, I'm definitely down for that one. Now this also does star Antonia Gentry, who was of course in Jenny and Georgia. All right, we also got an HBO Max original called The Parenting, where a couple rents a side house for a weekend with their parents, and then discover it's inhabited by 400-year-old poltergeist. So meets the parent. I'm guessing that's what I'm guessing with this one. Now it does have an interesting cast. You got the likes of Lisa Kudrow, Brian Cox, Dean Norris, Parker Posey. So really interesting cast here. So this could be cool to check out. All right, we also got a movie called Skill House, where a dark satire of social media and influence on culture and unflinching takes on fame and what new celebrities are willing to do to attain it. So yeah, this is pretty much supposed to feature lots of social media stars. You even got 50 Cents in this. So I mean, we're in the modern age of social media, so I guess these type of horror films are no surprising. So could be interesting to see. Uh, let me see what the cast here. Yeah, it's an interesting cast. I can't remember them from the top of my head. Yeah, I know 50 Cent's supposed to be in this one. You got Paige Van Zandt, Caitlin Carmichael's in this, Bryce Hall. You got Hannah Stockings also in this, John DeLuca. Got some interesting cast members, so could be cool. Speaking of social media stuff, venturing into the horror business, we got a movie called Homeschool, which is supposed to be the acting debut of Charlie D'Amelio, of course, from TikTok and Dancing with the Stars fame. Now, it's supposed to be directed by Spanish film director F. Javier Gutierrez. I think that's how you pronounce his last name. Uh, and here's what the film's about. It stars Charlotte D'Amelio as Mara, a 17-year-old who moves into live with her aunt after her mother passes away. After arriving in what seems like an all too perfect town, she discovers that her mother's death and her own future are unwillingly supernaturally. Now, this also is from the same director of the 2017 Rings movie. He's done some other stuff here and there, so hasn't really directed anything high tech there, but could be interesting. Could this be Charlie D'Amelio's like cool acting debut? Who knows? Not every social media stars are great actors. We've seen that with Asa Ray with that She's All That reboot. So could this be better? Who knows? But should be interesting. We also got a horror film called Shelter, which is supposed to have Betty Gabriel, Megan Suri from Never Have I Ever fame. Nowhere on what this is about, so I can't really comment on that one. We got a horror film here that I'm not going to repeat the full word, but I'm just going to call it Night B because I'm not trying to get monetized here. Here's what it's about. A stay-at-home woman begins to worry that she may be turning in, I kid you not, into a dog. This is actually based on a book and stars Amy Adams, and it's also directed by Mara Heller, who also directed the Mr. Rogers Tom Hanks film, um, A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood a couple years ago. She also directed that Melissa McCartney film, Can You Ever Forgive Me? So, not a bad director there. This sounds like it'd be really fascinating to check out. So, could be cool, I guess. All right, we also got a horror film called Horoscope, which stars Jacob Batalon from Spider-Man fame, about a group of college friends begin dying in ways connected to their fortunes after getting their horoscopes read. This sounds really creepy right here. So yeah, I mean, you're not gonna want to get your horoscopes read after even seeing this one, but could be interesting though. All right, we got a film called Hell of a Summer, which Not really sure what this movie's about, but it is actually the directorial debut by Strange Things star Finn Wolfhard. So curious to see how good he's going to do with this. I mean, he's great in the It movies, so how is he going to be good as a director? Who knows? All right, got another Hulu film called Dust coming out, which stars Sarah Paulson. And here's what it's about: trapped by increasingly horrific dust storms, a young mother, haunted by the past, becomes convinced that a mysterious presence is threatening her family and take extraordinary measures to protect them. Now, Sarah Paulson also did that horror film. Dang, I forgot the name, but not dang that mother horror film she did a couple years ago. Dang, I forgot the name of it, but Sarah Paulson back to the horror genre could be cool. I like her on American Horror Story, so this could be interesting to see. All right, we also got a horror film called Creepers coming out, which stars Nicholas Hamilton from the It movies, where a group of explorers investigate an old abandoned hotel, and encountering a strange supernatural being and a competing group searches for legendary hidden treasure. Now, this is actually based on a book, so could be interesting there. A movie called Year Two, directed by Silent Night director Stephen C. Miller, where two scientists tries to stop a mutation that turns people into werewolves after being touched by a supernatural moon by a supermoon the year before. This is supposed to be led by Frank Grillo, so you got Lou Diamond Phillips is in this. That's cool there, so could be interesting. All right, got a horror film called Lord of Misrule, directed by William Brad Bell, who just gave us Offer First Kill. A desperate search for a young daughter of the town's new minister. So could be cool there. Got Tubis Militant, Ralph Inston. Interesting. Got a couple of horror A24 horror movies coming. We got I Saw the TV Glow, which follows two teens who bond over their shared love of scary television shows, but the show gets mysteriously canceled. Now, this does star Bridget Lundy Payne. You also got Justice Smith is in this. Danelle Deadwaller, who I think should win an Oscar for Till. Now, this is directed by Ari Asher, the director behind Midsummer and Hereditary. That all you need to know right there. Starring Joaquin Phoenix, Patty LuPone, Parker Posey, Amy Ryan. Great cast there. It's supposed to be 3 hours long, so yeah, that's we definitely need an intermission nowadays. But it could be interesting though. Ari Aster, I mean, I thought what he did with Hereditary and Midsommar was a treat. So seeing him go back to that roots should be a treat to check out. All right. We also got The Front Room, which is from the Eggers brothers and stars Brandy. And here's what this is about. It tells the story of a young and newly pregnant couple who's forced to take in an alien estranged stepmother. So that sounds like it could be really creepy. So yeah, it is A24, of course, too. So who doesn't love A24 horror movies? All right, we also got the Bed Rest coming out, which stars Melissa Barrera from Scream, where a pregnant woman on bed rest begins to wonder if her house is haunted or if it's all in her head. Now, I love Melissa Barrera in The Heights, Scream. She was great in. Cannot wait to see her in Scream 6 next year. I like Melissa Barrera. I've of course adored her ever since I saw her in the movie Vita. So I'm glad to see her really branching out to more territories. And this sounds like it'd be really creepy. So could be cool though. Now the movie was supposed to come out this year, but for some reason it hasn't got released yet. So, all right, we also got the first Omen coming out, which is supposed to be like a prequel to the Omen. Uh, I don't know where they're gonna take this at because if you've seen the Omen, how do you do a prequel to that? Is beyond me. Is there another? I don't know. Is there another Damon that pops up? Who knows? All right. We also got a horror film called Cobweb coming out, where a boy who hears voices in his head decides to unleash them on his abusive parents. Now, this does star Homelander himself, Anthony Starr, as the lead. You also got Cleopatra Coleman, Lizzie Kaplan's in this. Sounds really creepy there. So, hey, Homestar in a horror film like this, sign me up right there. All right, we also got a film called Hell House coming out, which follows like the complicated relationship between small town high schooler peers Dawn and Michaela in the Deep South. So yeah, I don't really know much about that. Got a movie called Celia, which is a horror film from Spiral director Darren LeBalsman, starring Jeremy Irons and Tobin Bell. About an aspiring cellist learns that the cost of the cello is a lot more insidious than he would have thought. So that could be interesting there. I mean, Dylan Bowsman is a hit and miss. Like, maybe one of his worst movies was that movie 12, 12, 12 he did years ago. Or 11, 11, 11, I think it was called. Not 12, 12, 12. He also did Reaper the Genetic Opera, which I enjoyed. So, this, I don't know, could be intriguing to check out. Got a movie called The Home, which is from the Purge director, James DeMarcio, and follows Max, who realizes the residents and caretakers in a retirement home he's started working at hide sinister secrets. Boy, between X last year and now this, what is it with old people just being creepy here? I mean, are they trying to tell old people something nowadays? I don't know, but this could be interesting. You know, you got Pete Davis is starring in this, who I say whatever you want about his dating life or anything like that. I like Pete Davidson. I think this dude's hilarious on SNL. He was really good in Bites, just recent. So this could be interesting to see. All right, we also got a film called "There's Something Wrong with the Children," which is directed by Roxanne Benjamin. And here's what this is about: a family takes a weekend trip with longtime friends and their two young children, but they suspect something supernatural when the kids behave strangely after disappearing in the woods overnight. Now, this does star Mike Flanagan's boy, Zach Gilford, who's been in a lot of Mike Flanagan movies. You also got Carl Santos is in this, Amanda Cruz. So, got some interesting cast members on board here. So, could be cool there. And who doesn't love horror films with creepy kids? Come on. I mean, with The Omen, Orphan, now this. I mean, The Good Son. Yeah, creepy kids are always crazy to watch. All right, we also got The Strangers Part 3, which of course, it's supposed to be a fault to the Strangers movies. So I'm definitely looking forward to see where they're gonna take this new one too. I mean, I like the first two Strangers films, so I'm definitely intrigued to see where they're gonna take this new one at. And we also got Spin the Bottle coming out, which is a very interesting horror film. Here with the story of a group of teenagers in small town Texas who unleash a deadly force after playing the famous game in an abandoned house where Grizzly Massacre once took place. So yeah, I mean this sounds like it'd be really cool there. You got Justin Long supposed to be in this, Ali Lauder, so got some cool cast members in this, so it could be interesting. Got VHS 85 coming, which is of course the latest VHS film. One of the directors is Scott Derrickson's one of the directors, so that should be intriguing. I mean, the VHS movies are really insane, so I'm looking forward to see where they're gonna take this new one to. All right, we got Unseen, where like receives a call from Emily, who's a nearly blind woman who is running from her murderous ex in on the woods, and she must survive the ordeal with Sam being her eyes using video call. Now this stars Midori Francis from Good Boys fame. She's on Grey's Anatomy. You got Mystic Piles also in this, so that could be interesting. All right, got something called Late Night with the Devil, where a live television broadcast in 1977 goes horribly wrong, unleashing evil into the nation's living rooms. Okay, next year's Christmas horror film called Creature with Staring, uh, where a nurse taking care of her daughter's mysterious struggles to hide her secret when when uninvited strangers take shelter in her house during a lethal blizzard. Now, this is led by Christy Metz from This Is Us in this. Got some interesting Richard Pet Cemetery film. I do not mind that Pet Cemetery remake. I know there are so many haters of that one, but I had a fun time. I thought it was really intriguing. It was really it was pretty creepy. So I'm looking forward to see where they're gonna take this new Pet Cemetery film too. I mean, how like it's gonna connect to that to the original Pet Cemetery, you know, as well. Both of which are set for release at Paramount Plus. I'm telling you right now, with the success Paramount's been having with Scream, Offer First Kill, and Smile, don't be surprised if we hear news that both the new Pet Cemetery and Paranormal Activity are getting theatrical release. I'm just having a feeling that happened, so we'll see. All right, we got Kids versus Aliens, which looks pretty fun. The Sacrifice game comes out, which is directed by Jen Wexler, who of course starred in that movie Teeth. If you guys don't know anything about Teeth, it's about a woman who has teeth where teeth are not supposed to be. I'm not going to mention go full details, but yeah, if you guys seen the movie Teeth, you know what I'm talking about. And but the Sacrifice game stars Aladdin star Mina Masao, and follows Samantha Clare, two students who are staying behind for the holidays at their boarding school, who must survive the night against uninvited visitors. So, yeah, this sounds like it'd be really cool. You got Mina Masao. I'm glad to see him getting more work after Aladdin. Sounds like it'd be really intriguing to check out. All right, we also got a Shutter horror film called Destroy All Neighbors. Josh Forbes has directed this. Struggling prog rock musician William Brown finds himself in a living room in a living nightmare when he accidentally kills Vlad, the neighbor from hell. This sounds cool right here. I mean, Shutter has been making some really intriguing films. You know that Cam movie, dang, Stream Lion, I think it was Stream Dead. I think it was called. That was really cool. So I'm intrigued to check this one out when it premieres. All right, got a film called Carrot, which is actually directed by Rennie Harlin, who directed Deep Blue Sea, and he's actually the director of the new Strangers that I just mentioned. Carrot stars Kate Bosworth, Lynn Shay, and Ron Perlman, and follows a family who escapes to a small island running from a mysterious phenomenon that leads to a mass chaos, but their troubles are only the beginning. That sounds cool right there. Renihan was a bit of a hit and miss here. I mean, he did do like some other really cool stuff like a cliffhanger, but yeah, we'll see how good this one is. We also got Full Ride, which is sadly one of the last movies that Ed Hayes stars in. And follows Eden, who goes to a Coviet heaven and hell party, hoping to get a letter of recommendation to an elite university from the wealthy parents of her classmate. But the party quickly turns into a fight for her life. So that sounds really cool right there. You do got Dermot Mulroney's in this, so hey, nice year for Dermot Mulroney, by the way. Between Scream and this, he's becoming the Scream King now, huh? All right, we also got Becky 2, The Wrath of Becky, which is a follow to the 2020 film Becky, which had Kevin James in it. This time around, this has Sean William Scott. I love that first Becky. I thought seeing Kevin James really go to a very serious and villainous route, I thought was cool. So seeing Sean William Scott go in this route could be interesting too. All right, on Netflix, we got a fantasy horror comedy called We Have a Ghost, which is from a Happy Death Day director Christopher Landon. We got Birth slash Rebirth coming, The Inherent, which has Penn List, and everyone's anticipated horror film set for release. The horror film that's going to win all the Oscars and buzz, and that is Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey. Yeah, if you guys don't know, this is pretty much a horror slasher film based on the Winnie the Pooh story. With Winnie and if you guys don't know much about the story, it follows Pooh and Piglet as they go on a rampage after Christopher Robin abandons them. So the trailer for this thing looks awesome. I'm sorry, it looks pretty fun. Seeing Winnie the Pooh and Piglet go on a bloody rampage, signing up right there. I mean, of course, Winnie the Pooh is pretty much is in public domain, so I'm excited to when that one premieres. It might be terrible, but it might be those movies that's so bad, so good type films. Who knows? All right. We also got a horror film called The Blackening, which is directed by Rylong director Tim Story. That sounds really firm, but I'm pretty sure it's gonna get released next year. All right, we also got Dear David, which is about a man haunted by a ghost of a boy named David who is trying to, kill him here. So that should be interesting. Find Destination 6, Urban Legend could come out next year. Silent Night, Deadly Night. Uh, 3 is scheduled to be released next year. Infinity Pool, which is from Brandon Cronenberg, who's the son of David Cronenberg. That also has Mia Goth, who does not love Mia Goth right now. Mutator 2, Mutilator. We also got a new Silent Hill film set for release next year. Rumor has it Five Nights at Freddy could come out next year. Nanny Knox with Danielle Harris is set for release next year. And last but not least, another horror coming called Sick, which is actually a COVID-19 horror based film, which is from the same writers of the Scream franchise. Now, here's what this is about. Due to the pandemic, Parker and her best friend decide to quarantine at the family lake house, or do they think so? A killer is, of course, on loose. So, yeah, I mean, ever since like the pandemic happened, we've been getting lots of dumb but really cool horror-based films surrounding it. Whether it's Corona Zombies, whether it's a Host. I kid you not, there's literally a horror film called The COVID Killer about a killer who kills people during the epidemic while wearing an actual mask, like an actual face mask. I'm like, yeah, that's actually a way people like the governor could let people kept people should be in the house. Say that there was a serial killer on loose, that would have kept people in their house during quarantine. But hey, this does sound really intriguing. Check out. So yeah, lots of really interesting horror films to look forward to next year. But after this video, maybe sometime this week or maybe soon, I will do my top. I will do my rankings. But let me let you guys. What are some of your anticipated horror films that's set for release next year? Drop comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell for more notifications. This is Henry signing up.